This is for all you multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless, we will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zola. No applause? You're all fired.
Now that you've reached the stage in your life where quality television is important, Nubian TV is a black network that speaks to your lifestyle. Nubian TV is the world's first digital network devoted to the upscale and political lifestyles of black people. Nubian TV's programming includes politics, travel, fashion, food, automotive, arts and culture, civil rights, music, and more. Watch now on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, or watch globally at nubiantv.net. Nubian TV, it's what you want to watch.
Come with me if you want to live a more delicious life. Oh, maybe we should get in the van.
In this world, we don't get to control much. Past, male pattern baldness.
Leggies.
Got one right now. The urge to puff that bubble wrap.
But there is one thing we do get to choose every single day: what we eat. Welcome to the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment. We have everything you want, didn't know you wanted, and some things you didn't know were possible. Because we believe if you're not having fun, you're not living free. So come on, let's live a little.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money! Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning.
It's always a good time. That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good. Very good.
Coming in hot. Jimmy coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Oh, good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
Church is
Look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be here.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in.
That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, where?
Ginger.
Caesar. Just look at him. Politician. General. Author. Ruler. Man. Legend has it, he's not only stared into the belly of the beast, he's had it for dinner. Here he's free to relax, or party, or relax, or party, or relax, and party. His is a world of opulence, excess, and the occasional impulse buy. Not one to rest on his laurels, he's famous for ushering in a new age of entertainment. So, for anyone seeking a place where the sun never sets on a good time, all this awaits.
I am Caesar, and I approve this palace.
Well, hello to you, and you. Welcome into another edition of Brainley's Virtual Tour Live. Glad to have all you here. 3 shows in one day. That's what we do. That's how we roll. That's how we get down over here. It's time to talk some Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 16, Chicken and Waffles. And after this episode will be the season finale. Then after that, the 3-part reunion. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be done with Roa. Oh, child, I'm so ready for the end of this show. Y'all have no idea. But it has been nothing but a fun ride to hang out with all of you covering this show. And plus, we also have some other tea as well. Because, child, a lot is going down. So with that being said, Ira is waiting, those available. But either way, we are live on tour. Let me take down this iconic intro here. Yes, indeed. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And then there is me. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Glad to have all of you here in the building with me. Let's get to the getting and doing what we do because we got a lot to talk about. So we see Shamia with Shiloh and Shia. And the producer asks, why is the kid greased up? So I'm guessing the kid was, slid up with Vaseline on, right? And, Shamia said, my mama did to me when I was younger. It's just like, yeah, but still, let the kid be the kid, I guess, but that's her call. So then Dr. Heron, who is I think is Shiloh's doctor, she was great. When you dedicate your life to saving kids' lives, you're always good in my book, you know what I mean? And she was excellent. So Shamia calls Jared. Shamia got strep throat from Grenada, so they recently returned from Grenada after the girls' trip. And Shamia, really wants to give Gerald a son. And for 3 days a week for the first year of Shiloh's life, she was at the hospital because, like I said, hole in Shiloh's heart, this, that, third. And I will say this, I cannot imagine what it is to be able to give life, and then that life has complications that will be in their life for the rest of their life, right? You having to be the mom and the dad and the stewards and the caretakers, this, that, third. Because the child didn't ask for any of this. Has to be a tremendous burden. So I do send light love and prayers to Shamia and Gerald because no parent should ever be going through that. Like I said, I remember when I went to St. Jude Hospital, when I went to Arkansas Tech University, Russellville, Arkansas, and it was a dream come true to see that facility, which, by the way, takes $1.8 million to keep St. Jude Hospital open every single day. $1.8 million. And when you go to St. Jude, you do not receive a bill at all. They take care of you. I got to go to the Target house when they have different houses for the families and the children residing there. They got K's Cafe, sponsored by K Jewelers. And like I told y'all, I'll never forget this little kid named Zane, who, was just jumping up and down saying, Mama, can I have some ice cream? And at that time, I was new to college world. And I was like, damn, man, ain't no girl liking me, this, that, and third. The random stuff of being a college student. And I was like, if this little kid named Zane can still want ice cream after needing a blood transfusion to live, then what the hell am I complaining about in my life, right? So shout out to St. Jude Hospital and the Children's Medical Networks and to all of the pediatricians in the United States and around the world doing the work of just caring about people, because kids are people too. Amen. So after that, they had to test Shiloh for throat, so had to open up her mouth and make sure it wasn't red or anything. And Shiloh was just crying. Child, I feel if I already got a hole in my heart, I got all these other complications. Get away from me, damn it! Get away from me. So I definitely feel Shiloh on that. Then there was a test for Shamia, and she said that it was a negative. It was a transfer. They had a surrogate for the son, but she got transferred, right? And so then Shamia got a negative test result for strep. So praise be unto God for that. So then we see Phaedra, and she's with her sons Ada and Dylan, and Demarian, who is Dylan's mentor. they have this brand called Wild Cargo, right? So, and I love it when kids get into entrepreneurship. I think it's a wonderful thing. Entrepreneurship teaches you about discipline, it teaches you about purpose, it teaches you about responsibility, it teaches you about creativity, it also teaches you about how to stand up for yourself as well. So I love the fact that Phaedra and Apollo, I give Apollo credit too, that they are allowing their kids to, figure out who they want to be. Hey, Coach James Hodge, good to see you, good sir. As always, love you, bro. You're good people for sure. Yes, indeed. So, Phaedra has raised the boys to know how to be, how to move, and how to, engage with the world. And so, Phaedra is still funeral director. She was at Willie Watkins Funeral Home, which is one of the biggest funeral homes in Atlanta. I think they've had some commercials as well, parody. And then she became a Ricky healer just last year. So Phaedra's doing a little bit of everything, okay? And when I say a little bit of everything, I really do mean a little bit of everything, because she asked the producer, have you ever had a crystal in your vagina? And I'm like, what the? As the fireworks are going up behind us, ladies and gentlemen, like, what the hell? Why would you stick a crystal up there? Like, the crystal has a sharp point. Like, any time that point could, go to, vaginal tissue, and then, that tissue has nerves and stuff. And it's just like, what the hell? But go off, queen, I guess. So, like I said, Dylan could not find bell-bottom pants. So he started making his own. And so there's this event at the vault with this black glove shopping affair. And Phaedra wants to showcase, Dylan's pants with furs. And Aiden's going to be, his manager, and wants like 10%. But then Dylan wants him to get 2%, which I thought was quite funny. So, listen, I'm doing the work. You can sit in a chair, mate, and, do all the desk work. But let me tell you something. Desk work and going to meetings, that is work, okay? So listen, it takes one to make the other do their job. It's just like Walt Disney or Roy Disney. Walt Disney's job was to think of all the ideas, and then Roy's job was to figure out the finances. Yes, indeed, there. So Phaedra wants to wear a pair, but Dylan said no. And I'm like, Dylan, bruh, really, you can't make a pair for your mom, really, bruh? But he's like, no, this is my brand, mom. I'm sure you got people that can do you some bell bottoms, but no. But Phaedra being a very proud mama bear there for sure. So then we're with Kelli. Kelli is at her divorce hearing. This is the final one, or supposedly the final one, right? Cameras are not allowed in the courthouse. It was 4 hours later. Lamont, her publicist, is with Kelli. Apparently, Kelli is still not divorced from this episode, and they had to have a continuance because it could only go to 12 p.m. Shamia comes over, and her and Kelly's ex-husband went to jail that day because he did not pay child support. He only paid child support before because he did not want to go to jail. Angela Oakley called, and no talk to Britt since Grenada. Now, obviously, we have heard, this conversation, right? The last episode, which was Rebirth, we heard about Kelli and Britt having this argument over this glam team thing, right? And it comes out a little bit later in the episode. I have to tell you, in watching the episode, I was flabbergasted. I really was. I'm just like, damn, like all this over a glam team. But we're going to get there, because I did say in my description box below that I saw both sides of it. But there's one side I'm leaning to more than another. Okay, so we'll get to that very shortly. So invitations are sent out. Then we're back with Kelli. So Angela, Phaedra, Drew, and Charles are all there at Williams-Sonoma. And by the way, for those of you who don't know Williams-Sonoma, it's one of the biggest retail brands in the world. They're known for cooking and, just home products. So Kelli's been a brand ambassador since 2019. This is her 7th event. And so, she does cooking classes and this, that, and third. The daughters show up in the confessional with that painted dog. God bless the painted dog. I mean, I know you lost him and you don't want to lose the dog again, but just, does the dog really have to be painted though? Just, you can get a collar, with a tracking device right now. Some people, they put a collar inside the dog. I think that's a little bit, method, because we don't want brain chips in our brains. I don't think animals should also get that. Just saying, that's just my opinion. Okay, just like Bob Barker said, spay and neuter your pets. It's like, they gotta have that, to release, go to the restroom and stuff. But just saying, God forbid, somebody has an opinion on anything. Sometimes your existence can be a crime to other people when they're really, they're the mass. They're saying that's the mass individual. That's the mass individual. But you been, traveling, doing this, that, and third in your own lane. And then when they get caught, I would have got away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. Well, listen, if you wouldn't been doing meddling, then the kids would have to find out about your meddling. So like Bart said, I'ma just windmill with the wind. If you get hit, it's your own fault. Sometimes it's your own fault. Okay. All right. Moving on. Okay. Charles has a cigar. And Charles is ready to throw down. So this is a chicken waffles battle over banana foster chicken and waffles. And so the ladies ask, Kelli, how is she feeling? Have they talked? Kelli and Britt, and Kelli said it feels good. I haven't talked to Britt since Grenada, and something in the waffle battle wasn't sweet according to Drew. And I'm just like, listen, sometimes grown adults need to have grown conversations, right? So maybe it's not y'all business, but in the same token, y'all in reality, so it is y'all business. So then we get Britt. Britt is at her home. Cynthia comes over and Porsha comes over, and the words what Phaedra said really resonate with Britt. And so she's trying. So I will say this about Britt. She can put 20 on 10, but at least she is honest, right? She's trying her best. And by the way, shout out to, I think it's Karen Melrell, if I'm not mistaken, because I saw a clip from her with Candace Dillard Bassett talking about how what was it? How Monique Samuels has clown behavior. Child. By the way, Candace is not wrong. What? This is the thing too, right? Like, if you want me to tell a better history about you and me, you should have treated me better, right? So Candace still has the right to her opinion, right? So to all the Monique fans trying to get on to Candace, like, Candace is now on the show. So, like, why are you getting upset with her? Like, Monique is back. Y'all should be focused on that. I'm just saying. And regardless of how you think, how you feel, and how you move, Monique was the one that did the most in that episode. And they don't tolerate violence. So Monique got caught up, rightfully so. It is what it is. When you do a crime, there are consequences for what you do. And what of it? So like I said, Cynthia comes over, Porsha comes over. They're talking about, did you rest after Grenada? And Cynthia is shut down for 2 days. And Britt said that she got some rest. And so this glam team thing of using the same team of hair and makeup, which was fine, allegedly in the beginning, because, Kelli pushed for it. But then there was a team meeting that, they had with Britt, where the team told Britt that Kelli did not want them to work with her anymore. And so it looked like at first Kelli was saying that you can use my team until you get a team. But here's my thing, though, right? If you are cool with it and then you switch up later on down the line, then you're an asshole to me, right? Now, like I said, glam teams, they are usually freelancers unless they have their own makeup studio where they have a cavalry of artists, right? So just like the Kenya Moore hair spa, that's closed. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out of my mouth? Y'all, it's been a long day. I am so sorry. It really, truly has been a long day. You know what? Truly, y'all, it's been such a long day that Child, listen.
Time is slipping away from me.
Time has been slipping away from me, y'all. It's been that long of a day. Moving on. But that's how I feel about it. Like, Kelli, you said allegedly, because I wasn't there, child, but you were, that you said that, you know, Britt could use your glam team until she found one. Now, obviously, she didn't find one, but there had to be something between y'all that's like, you know what, it's been extended, so as long as we work our schedules, we're cool. But for you to switch up now, you look like the asshole, right? Just saying. So then, you know, a rule for freaking frack is there's no jealousy. But here's the gag, though. Y'all ready for this? So even though the squad or the glam team can no longer work with Britt, they're working for Shamia now. Now, Shamia with Sterling Hall being, you know, mini Candy and getting the hookup for radio and for the Housewives and, you know, for music and everything else for Candy, you would think Shamia would have her own glam team. So to you, Shamia, why would you utilize the glam team from somebody that you know that they have a disagreement with their best friend on the show? I'm just asking questions. That's all I'm doing. So then apparently Britt says she saw a text between Porsha and Shamia, and that it was from her attorney, from Porsha's attorney rather. And we learn rather from Porsha that those text messages were, you know, about her conversations with her therapist. That's not best friend behavior at all. That is not best friend behavior at all. At all. So let me pull this up. I definitely want to mention that a little bit later on. Okay, got that. So then we see Charles is talking smack about food, right? That he's about to throw down with Kelli. And Angela says, you know, in the dressing wars, you know, I think I win that. And Charles is like, okay, you can win that. And Charles then says, what else do you do? And Angela said, like, don't pretend I can't cook or nothing. And then Charles says, you poke around. I'm like, damn. I'm like, Charles, I know you did not do that to your wife on national television. You know what? I love Charles. Because here's the thing. It's like, okay, you ask me a question, I'm going to give an answer. I didn't want to do this shit. But since I'm here, let's fucking go. I have to rewind that 2 or 3 times just to make sure, like, wait, did he say that you poke around in terms of cooking? Not cooking, but cooking? Oh, no. So now we need a cook-off between Angela and Charles. Hey, listen, Andy, can you tell us if, you know, did something happen with Charles and Angela during the reunion? Like, because the last reunion, Drew sung to Ralph, right? So was there a cooking throwdown between Angela and Charles during the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion? Because I think we need that just to see who can actually cook the best. Charles said Angela pokes around in terms of cooking. Good damn. Good damn. Just good damn. That was funny. That was quite funny. So after that, Angela said it was a tie because both of their banana fosters was good. So Drew said to Charles that you made me go to my grandmother's household on a particular street. And then Drew said to Kelli that has a lot of soul. So both of them were winners. And then I saw Justin Diego binge-worthy. By the way, shout out to Justin Diego. Love that brother. He is legend in terms of a content creator to me. Legend. Legend, for sure. He can do anything because he's about something. Unlike other people who are Zeus energy, who are just switching because they're all dried up. You say you don't want to be a part of one algorithm, but yet you cover shit still in the algorithm. But far be it for me to have an opinion, though. Okay, child. It doesn't apply, let it fly, but if you let it fly, it must apply. Moving on. So, like I said, shout out to Justin Diego Benchworthy. So then Lindsay Hart, flagship general manager, Williams Sonona, is talking to Charles, and Marcus does a toast. Well, actually, before that, after Angela said it was a tie, Marcus wanted to talk to Angela about her husband. Now, apparently, Marcus is some chef in Atlanta, allegedly. Then after that, I saw Justin Diego Benchworthy. Then Lindsay Hart, flagship general manager, Williams Sonona. But then, so Angela does a toast, but then Marcus does a toast, and he does it loudly. He's like, toast if your name is Angela and your husband is cheating on you. I'm like, oh my Lord. I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? Because Angela, she was very cool, calm, and collected. I will definitely say that. She was very, very cool, calm, and collected. She really, really was. This child, this right here, okay, so this clip right here, you guys have seen this from Sinners. Now, I'm just going to just do it like this, okay? I'm just going to do it like this. Let me go right here. Let me do this right here because basically this is Marcus. And Mary is Mary's Angela. But I don't want you to view this clip from Sinner's point of view. I want you to view it from how Angela could have went off. So that's why I'm using this metaphor here. So here we go, child. Woo, here we go.
You know I waited for you.
Shit, well, I don't know how in the hell you gonna do that.
Because you told me you loved me.
Well, I told you to stay the fuck away from me too, but I guess you didn't hear that part, huh?
I heard you.
But the rest of the clip was, you stuck your tongue in my coos and fucked me so hard, I figured you'd change your mind. But sincerely, though, like, Angela really could have went off because here's the thing, right? For one, she didn't know who you were. Angela didn't know who the hell you were. That's one. Number two, bruh, like, you knew cameras were there, bruh. So you played it up for the cameras. And number three, for you to do it so loudly, where you were baiting her, you didn't want to talk to her. You were just trying to cover your ass. Let me go over here so that way she knows that I tried to say something to her, but since she don't want to say it, I'll say it out loud to bait her. That was ASA 9, ASA 10, ASA 11, ASA 12, ASA 13. Foul, disrespectful. And that was a ASA 9, ASA 10, ASA 11, ASA 13. Disrespectful move on your part. Just outline. And I will say this, to Kelly's credit, right? Kelly got rid of Marcus. So good on Kelly for doing the right thing. Listen, we can give credit where credit's due, okay? But then Phaedra Parks. Pretend that this is a stop sign here. Phaedra Parks, this is your sign to stop. And to park it. And to sit the fuck down. Because what you said was bullshit. She said, and I quote, Phaedra said, it's against her religion to get into other people's business. It's against your religion. It's against your religion. Well, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Because we'll get to that a little bit later. So then we're back with Phaedra, Britt, and Cynthia. Mimosa was going to hump Porsha. So then Mimosa humped Britt, and then Mimosa humped the pillow. Now, Mimosa is Britt's dog. Give that dog a stuffed duck and move the fuck on. I think of that stuffed duck from Click, from the movie with Adam Sandler. Just give the dog a stuffed duck and put the hell on. Damn. Okay. So then, y'all, after that, Porsha calls, Phaedra rather calls Britt, Porsha, Britt, and Cynthia, right? And child, listen. Trying to make sure that I got my notes here. So basically, Phaedra tells Porsha, Britt, and Cynthia that a man said that Angela's man Charles, or husband Charles, is cheating on Angela, and they all have a reaction. And Phaedra says that the man was kicked out, and Phaedra's like, let me go before somebody rolls up on me. Now, Phaedra, did you not just say that was against your religion to get into other people's business? Did you not just say that? It's not in your religion, or it's against your religion to be other people's business. But y'all, there's a reason why Phaedra's on Roa and now married to Messon. But we'll get to that in just a little bit, because that what it says is so funny. So, so before the event, Porsha calls Phaedra to tell her that Londie died. Right, that's Porsha's cousin. And I just want to take this moment out to say I am so sorry, sincerely. Y'all know that most of the time I get on to Porsha based on what she does on the show, right? But I sincerely don't hate Porsha moves. I really don't. I hate her, how she moves on the show, but I don't think that she's this waste of a life person, right? And I think that's where it gets dicey with giving commentary, right? Hate what they do, but also very dicey, right? Because, child, sometimes social media is more the show than the show on TV. You know what I mean? So, Samantha Tour, hey, welcome in, Samantha. Glad to have you here. I think this is your first time here. I was so shocked I remember her from Porscha's show. Yes, indeed. Porsha Family Matters. That was the little mini series that Nene Leakes shaded. And let me tell you something. Lottie was so beautiful, thickums, wonderful spirit, and she just seemed like she was a family member that you just want to see more of on TV. Like, here's the thing. I believe more people like Lottie than Porsha. And absolutely real. I mean, you know what Lottie never did, or the mindset that Lottie never had. She never had this type of mindset.
It's not just feeding the hungry only on Thanksgiving. It's an everyday situation. You know what I mean? This is 265 days a year.
That is funny. 265 days? Where the hell that bitch live at?
It's not.
And still to this day, we do not know where that bitch lives at. But sincerely, Lottie didn't have a 265-day-a-year mindset. She had 365-day-a-year mindset to love and to care and to be there for other people. And so I will say this. When I saw that scene, it broke my heart for Porsha because You know, Porsha, she's known as the fun girl, as the she's not a gatherer of the girls like Nene. Nene's queen, and you know, Porsha moves like a princess. That's because she is one. Like I said, stagnant princess and princesses can't compete with progressive kings and queens. But I did feel for her because I do believe, even with reality TV, even with everything that happened, Porsha loves who she loves very hard. I don't believe that she plays about that. So, to Porsha Williams and the family, much love, prayers, and support. So, see, now Porsha's still gonna get it. You know what I mean? The reunion and the season finale. But also doing the same token, I can recognize, and we should all be able to recognize, humanity as well. We can drag them for the activity that they do on TV. We can also recognize the humanity that happens on TV too. Just saying. As the fireworks are going off behind us for Lottie there. Shout out to that beautiful system. Yes, indeed. So then everyone's arriving to the event. Kelli is not responding to Britt's hi because Britt said hi multiple times and Kelli is not responding at all. Lord Jesus. Aiden and Dylan come through, you know, because they have their bell bombs reveal. Before that, Phaedra checked in with everybody and she talks to this girl that's sitting at this desk and she asked her, have you been here before? And she was like, no. Well, Phaedra's like, act like you've been here before. And by the way, can I just say, Phaedra looked like the auntie of Cruella DeVille. I say that with love. I say that with love. 101 Dalmatians is one of the biggest Disney franchises. That's a compliment. That's a compliment. That is a fucking compliment. Okay? Because Cruella DeVille also loved furs, you see. But she loved Dalmatians. Those spots. I love it when we can have fun together, don't you? Yes, indeed. So, child, so what Angela says about Marcus is there's some people that really care about Angela and Charles, and they find out that Marcus, well, first of all, that those people paid Marcus a visit, and they found out that he got paid to come. Drew was 15 minutes late, and they, in the words of Marcel, close the doors. That's what they did. And so, so then, you know, after all that's done, then, you know, Angela says they're going to find out who, right? And then Kelli says, you know, maybe it's the person who never shows up. Basically accusing Britt of sending Marcus to Kelly's event. Now, first of all, that's an accusation. Okay, Kelli. Number two, you have no proof of that. And number three, you are just venting because you are big mad that your best friend's not supporting you. When your best friend feels away about what you did. Okay, that was foul. What? See, I'm not in no camp. I'm about right is right and wrong is wrong. Y'all should know by now. You saw the thumbnail. You know my voice. Damn it, you know why you're here. The hell? That was uncalled for. Some people really do actually mind their business. I know that's shocking to believe, but sincerely. And you know, Kelli, like I said, child, I'm gonna take this down. I'm gonna take Samantha George's comment down just for a minute. Kelli, if you're gonna have a receipt, child, you're gonna have a receipt. Have a receipt like this. Have a receipt like this. Have a receipt like this. Something factual, actual, smacktual. Child, listen. Let's pretend that both of these people are Kelli and Britt. So Kelly's got 6,690 subscribers, right? Britt has 7,620 subscribers, right? Kelli has 173,365 total views. Britt has 932,147 views, right? The grand total, a difference of 930 subscribers and a difference of 758,782 total views. Grand total, a difference of 930 subscribers and a difference of 758,782 total views. grand total, a difference of 930 subscribers, and a difference of 758,782 total views. Now, I would suggest to all of you that Kelli, that Britt's view count of 932,147 is way more than Kelli's 173,365 total views. And I will also suggest to you that 7,620 subscribers that Britt has in this receipt, right, is way more than 6,690 subscribers. Kelli, if you're going to have a receipt, child, have a factual, actual receipt like this, okay? Please and thank you, child. I can't do it. I can't do it. I simply cannot do it. Okay? Just is what it is. So, I didn't like that. I just didn't like that. If you don't like Britt anymore, cool. But don't accuse her of something that you have good to fucking damn well no proof of, okay? Just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, moving on. So Britt said Kelli pushed for them to share the glam squad, which is what we heard at first. Kelli first said that she wouldn't mind sharing her glam squad until she finds one. But then, Kelli, if you push for it, then that's on you. So you can't blame Britt for that. You got to blame your team for that, right? And Kelli talked about Britt's pill-popping roommate. Now, Phaedra Parks, you know what? I'm going to say this comment, then I'm going to show you what that did to my soul, okay? So Phaedra Parks said, all Britt did was give me Advil PM. I didn't get the Propofol Michael Jackson special. Ugh. You know what? I swear to God. Oh my, you know what that did to my soul? I'm gonna show you what that did to my soul. Give me a moment. Because it was so damn hilarious. Right here. This is what it did to my soul. That's what it did to my soul when Phaedra Parks said that. All she gave me was Advil PM. She didn't give me the Propofol Michael Jackson special. Phaedra, how do you come up with your lines? Am I going, how the hell again this? From heaven. I swear, if that is not a part of Phaedra's recap in the reunion, I will be pissed. Because that was so smooth like butter. Because it came out of nowhere, but it landed on the plate just fine. All I got was Advil PM. I didn't get the Propofol Michael Jackson special. My Lord Jesus. I'm just like, wow. But then here's where it got now, Britt. I'm with you when you're right. I'm against you when you're wrong. You talked about ABs that Kelli had when she was married. And then Kelli said to Britt that you can't even have a kid. Now, I think that's where it went below the belt, right? I get that there's a lot of strain over a glam team, but really, there are worse issues going on in the world right now that will really make somebody pissed off. Y'all both upset over a glam team. I don't think Britt was in the wrong with utilizing the glam team since Kelli pushed, right, for the glam team to be used by both of them, right? I mean, you offered, Kelli, you offered Britt your glam team until she could find one, but then after a while, you pushed for it, allegedly. So if that's the case, then guess what? Britt wasn't wrong, right? But Britt, you were wrong to bring up that, because regardless of whatever goes on in anyone's life, going through a AB, especially if you haven't seen the maternity rates for Black women in pregnancy, it will piss you the fuck off, right? So that was not cool, Britt. That wasn't cool. Now, you were absolutely right. For what Kenya Moore did to you, she was a fucking piece of shit bastardess that deserves every fucking thing coming her way. Okay? That will never change. But what you did by bringing up Kelly's ABs was uncalled for. You see, whereas right, wrong is wrong. As long as you come from that, you can't go wrong, right? But of course, you're not going to please everybody, child. Oh, Lord. So, everybody did not like that low blow. Kelli had her tubes tied after having the kids. And then as the fashion show was going on, it's like Drew is at the door knocking, and you can hear the door knock. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is in the words of Nene Leakes, the ghetto, the ghetto and Drew, the ghetto Timothy that's coming out. So the fashions they were fashioning, I will have to say they did look beautiful. And then, Phaedra's talking about, how Cynthia looks this, that, and the third, that she doesn't eat pork. And Cynthia said, hold on, I don't think I said that. I did not eat pork. By the way, as Drew was outside, Drew was a trooper, right? Because she was in traffic. She actually did show a text that she sent Phaedra, right? But there was a gentleman, there was a male officer rather, that brought chicken wings to Drew. I thought that was so nice. I'm like, see, all cops aren't bad. You know what I mean? I'm sure that, they role play later on that night, like I said in my description box below. Sir, arrest me. I've committed so many crimes. Yeah, and I'm gonna make your ass feel guilty tonight on top of it. Oh my God. Okay. So then 7:55, Drew comes in, and then it's the pants reveal. And then Sweet Tea, formerly of Married to Medicine, she's with the Doctors Wives of Atlanta. By the way, shout out to them. They have been doing such a good job on social media. I love those ladies for sure. And Millie Chun did a great interview. If you did not see it, go to Millie Chun's channel, like, comment, share, subscribe to that legend, because that's a legend. And that legend was with some amateurs that will never get to Millie Chun's level, will never be at Millie Chun's level, will never move in Millie Chun's energy to be a legend. Those two are Zeus energy. Millie Chun's from ABC energy. Do you see what's at the bottom of the screen right there? Everything's allegedly, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if you let it fly, it must apply. Now, with that being said, Sweet Tea came through, and the boys shut it down. And it was so nice to see. The brothers. Aiden Dylan said, "I'm so proud of you." I'm like, see, that's what we're talking about. And that's the thing. I think people love reality TV. They just can't stand the repetitiveness of the dragorization of tiredness, of ratchetness and egos and just negativity, right? So to see two young black boys hug each other of saying, "I'm proud of you. You made it through. Look at what we did." We want more of that. Of course, we want the shade, but we also want the rise as well. You know what I mean? So then after that, some fashions were for sale. There was a pink and gray fur for $700, pink faux fur for $1,400. Then Shamia asked, Britt, why can't you call? And so, Britt gives her reasons of that, listen, this glam team thing was so ridiculous and you couldn't just talk to me, so I can't be fake. And on that note, I can agree with Britt on that. But still, in the same token of that, how would Kelli know if Britt called that Kelli wouldn't pick up, right? Because Britt could have called and Kelli didn't pick up, and then Kelli could have controlled the narrative. Because that's happened in relationships before. Friendships, you try to do the right thing and then they deny, but then you can pull up the receipts of, hey, this is my call off, this text. See, you did not respond right here. You did not respond right here. You did not respond right here. So then there was some yellow fur for $2,200. Then Big Bird from Sesame Street gets mentioned. And then Phaedra tells the group that Lottie died. And it seemed like everybody for a moment was able to come together there. And then in the season finale preview, child, Marcus is with Angela and Drew, and they talk about Charles. Britt and Shamia talk about how Shamia, hasn't been real with Porsha, that Shmia said that Porsha is a fake friend, third, and then Charles and Marcus get into it, and it looks like it's about to be a Newsweek arms heavy like spaghetti situation in the season finale of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your review, everybody. Man, a lot went down this episode. Like I said, I thought it was a good episode. Definitely had a lot of meat on the bones, for sure. So with that being said, speaking of meat on bones, Porsha Williams, freaking Frank. That's why I was thinking of Porsha. That's why I was thinking of Faith, rather. But no, seriously, Porsha Williams did an interview, her first interview, with People Magazine, people.com, after, everything has went down, right? And this is the thing, right? She did the Stella got her groove back. I know Porsha got like a scripted deal from NBC Universal, but only Angela Bassett could have pulled that move the way she did. Like, this is just an amateur trying to redo what a professional did. I'm just saying, okay, she did her thing, but she's not ever gonna be in Stella Got Groove Back remixed where, oh my God, Porsha Williams is Angela Bassett's long lost star. Stop it. Let's just stop it. All that's just smoke and mirrors, y'all. Please stop. Anyway, exclusive. Porsha Williams speaks out in first interview finalizing her nightmare divorce from Simon Guobadia. The Real Housewives of Atlanta star who settled her divorce from Guobadia on June 11th opens up about her contentious split. I filed out of necessity to protect myself. In the 1995 movie Wayne to Exhale, a heartbroken, fed up Bernadine Harris, played by Angela Bassett, gets revenge on her deceitful husband and releases her pain by piling his wardrobe into the back of his luxury car before dousing it all in lighter fluid and setting it ablaze with the flames growing behind her. She lights a cigarette and walks away with her head held high. It's been 30 years since that scene, but for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Porsha Williams, it's a message of rage. Its message of rage and resilience couldn't be more relevant as she posed for people's recreation of that moment and more memorable images from the film May 16th. In her hometown of Atlanta, she was processing her own feelings of betrayal and loss in real time. I didn't expect today to be emotional, she says, upset, but the moment I sat down at that vanity and started brushing my hair, just like Angela in the movie, it hit me. I've prettied up the ugly in my life too, when it was so pretty, and I'm done doing that. Really? Are you really done uglying the pretty in your life? Because you filed a lawsuit against Keisha of being at court for the proceedings, right? And apparently Michelle A.T. Allen was there allegedly. Child, Keisha said that A.T. Allen, in so many words, stank because she said there was a smelly, person there, but we don't know that to be for sure, but that's what Junkie Dineva said. It's not third, but whatever. This is the thing, Porsha. A lot of people believe that you stole somebody's man. Ian Fallon said that. So for you to make a lawsuit against a content creator for talking about you, remember what I said when Porsha was going to come back on the show. Now, if you came back on the show and things started happening to you, you start blaming everybody else, then you were going to look stupid. And what are you doing? You're suing a content creator who's talking about you. And like Keisha said, if you don't like it, then quit the show. But you're a public figure. So it is what it is. Like, the hell? But anyway, we'll believe it when we see it, child. So there she is there. She means that just weeks after the shoot following intense legal battle, Williams' divorce from Simon Guobadia was finalized on June 11th by a Georgia judge. Guobadia, 61, appeared on Zoom from his native Nigeria, where he was deported from the U.S. because of immigration violations, including bank and credit card fraud. You go through different stages, says Williams, 44, who returned to the Bravo show this season after a 3-year hiatus. You have that anger, you have that moment where you fight for your life in a court situation, and then toward the end, you have clarity where you realize you are still blessed, your family's by, Your family is by our side. Your child's protected. There's a whole new life that you can start. There she is there. Now, I will say, I do like this. This is like a live cover. I do like that. But also, too, why does it look like Porsha Williams' hair is on fire? Like, you see, like, the outer edge. Like, she's standing pretty close to the fire. I mean, is that Go Naked hair or is that some other hair? Now, listen, like, wait until she turns around again. Wait for it now. Listen. Right here. You see? Right there? Saw the flames right there? I'm just saying. Listen, she the one who did this, right? So I'm just saying. Okay. The two met through Gobadia's ex, who appeared on Roa. That's Fallon. Okay, Fallon Gobadia at the time. She and Gobadia went public with their relationship on Instagram in 2021 and announced their engagement just 1 month after. They celebrated their union with not one but two weddings in November 2022, a traditional Nigerian ceremony honoring Simon's heritage, followed by a lavish American celebration in Atlanta. I'm a true hopeless romantic. Once I decide to be with you, I dedicate everything to you. Oh, Lord Jesus. Well, how did that work out for you? Because you are where you are, where, you know, you married somebody with bad in their name, and then now you got this bad energy on you. Or wait a minute. Does marrying somebody with the last name Bad makes you a bad person, or is it how you move that makes you a bad person? Ooh, we're not ready to have that conversation, are we? Let's roll on. She says, and Simon matched my energy. He's very warm. He loves spending time with me. And we're freaking extra. If we wanted to fly out the country every week, I'll post on Instagram about how much we loved each other. He was down. Now, unfortunately, I can't play the interview because this is from Meredith. I'm not Meredith, I'm not mistaken. So can't play it. I tried to do that with Keke Palmer interview. I had to cut it out because it got blocked around the world. I'm like, good damn. Jesus Christ. He also provided Williams what she thought was a safety net given their 17-year age difference. I've been hurt really bad in different situations. I felt defenseless. I've been lied to. I've been asked to change who I am and not felt hurt, she says. But Simon, he was settled in his life. The biggest thing he used to stress to me was how he had grown. He was very upfront about the things he did in his past relationships and how he had worked on himself. I felt very, very protected by him. I felt like I met someone I could trust. That sense of security was short-lived. After she uncovered what she calls complex issues, physical status, Williams says she knew the relationship was heading down a dark road, and she hired an immigration attorney in January 2024. So there she is there at the Vanity. We had a real serious conversation because being a supportive wife, I wanted to deal with this head on, says Williams. I got it spelled out completely by an attorney who had been in immigration for 30 years. My conclusion was, I don't want you to travel. I begged him not to leave the country. That was not honored. On Valentine's Day, the two had a confrontation, which Williams now calls a point of return. There was some paperwork that needed to be handled that I wanted to bring in some attorneys to represent me. And that was frowned upon, she says. And it wasn't really what he said. It was a look that was from dark. I just knew that I wasn't looking at the same person that I loved before. And I could tell that he was pretty much checked out of the relationship at that point. She filed for divorce 8 days later. Williams insisted there was no infidelity on either side. There was no habits, some desires he wanted to accomplish outside the family. I think that he possibly chose those things over me. That part took over the air. I don't know that person, she says. There were big factors that really would be hurt in the divorce. She says, I loved him so much because I trusted him. I felt safe with him. And that's why I lost. I couldn't trust him. Williams had seen the look the body gave her Valentine's Day once before in her first marriage to former NFL quarterback Bell Stewart, which ended in 2023 when he blindsided her with divorce papers. But this time, it was her decision. Honestly, I felt like I filed before I was ready to file. I filed out of necessity to protect myself, she says. This one, I would think he would feel like it was a blindside for him. He was so used to me always finding a way to compromise what's best for me. And this time, I just didn't do that. Gobadia tells people that they had no issues as a couple, and Williams is citing issues that have happened in my past. I spent the better part of for 35 years of my life making up for it. He adds, Williams predicts herself financially. In my past, I was really naive and gave up everything to be married. But this time I came in as a businesswoman, a person who had built a substantial financial portfolio. She says, I did a prenup. I was responsible. So in a way, that due diligence made it a softer land to walk away. Although I do believe there are some payments that he's not paying because he's not in the U.S. to pay them. Just saying. Gobaya continued to travel internationally during the 12 months of the divorce proceedings. And in February 2025, Gobaya assisted returned to Atlanta for a court date connected to their divorce case. Before he made it there, he was taken in custody by U.S. Immigration, Customs, ICE, Customs Enforcement, ICE. Now, of course, people believe that, Porsha would have called ICE. Now, I do believe that Porsha did that. Absolutely. And child, this right here, this does not happen in Porsha's life. Now, she got people who does all that. This was just for vanity. This was just for vanity. Just saying. According to court documents obtained by people, Gobaya's detention stemmed from a history of immigration violations, including visa overnight stays dating back to the 1980s, a 1987 conviction for bank and credit card fraud, as well as 1992 deportation. Despite these issues, he re-entered the U.S. under a different identity and obtained permanent residency, which later was deemed unlawfully granted. His most recent naturalization application was denied in 2022, and subsequent legal challenges were unsuccessful. News of Gobaya's detainment made headlines nationwide, which is how Williams said she learned of it. I found out, like everyone else, that he'd been taken in for questioning. Though their relationship was over by then, Williams admits she was saddened by the news. I find it to be very unfortunate. She says, I don't want anything bad to happen to Simon. I don't want him in a horrible situation like that. Gobaya spent 4 months in a detention center before he returned to Nigeria on June 6th. You're not cutting a thing. Like, look at this. I want you to see the laziness of this. You see all that right there? Now, of course, I know there's toys on the ground. Don't at me, but still, like this. No, that's all fake. Like, what the fuck? This is just her just leaning into the camera, playing with the camera. It looks like she's looking at you, but child, like, how do you cut grass and still look at the camera? You can't turn 304 into a housewife. Moving on. Allegedly, okay, child. Allegedly. Both Gobaya and Williams attended their final June 9th court hearing remotely. Williams is filming season 4 of Traitors in Scotland. After a long day of deliberations, the judge ruled in Williams' favor upon their prenup, granting her spousal support and allowing her the ability to stay in their home for 36 months with Gobaya paying the mortgage and bills. He's also responsible for legal fees and a lump sum payment as part of the settlement. Like I said, though, apparently, because he's in Nigeria, he will not pay. Okay. I feel relief, Williams tells people on a phone call from the Traitor set. I think the film was mutual for me and him. We both read the closest chapter and moved forward with real life. Gobaya says he plans to appeal the ruling this marriage from over. He says the split has been easy for Pilar, Gianna, PJ McKinley, Williams, Dara, whom he shared with ex-fiance Dennis McKinley. 6-year was extremely close to Gobaya and his children from previous relationships. What the family Williams had worked hard to build during her break from Housewives. Bringing Pilar into this marriage was just beautiful. She remembers we let her relationship with Simon happen naturally the same way we let my relationship with his kids who lived with us happen naturally. And Pilar, she really thrived in it. She loved Simon. She loved having brothers and sisters. Initially, she told Pilar that her stepfather was trying for work, but eventually the truth came out. I just said, Pilar, mommy and Papa aren't together anymore. Like how we were married and how I was the wife, he was the husband. We don't have that anymore. We are now really good friends. We both still love you, and he still loves you. Child, really? You a lawyer now? Just like you were a journalist? Oh, my Lord Jesus. Okay, child. Not long after, Williams asked Pilar After Williams says Pilar asked her, so he just left me, he's not coming back. Pilar asked to call Gobadia. Williams claims she reached out to him for the first time in months. I know if his kids want to contact me, that of course that I would want to talk to them. So I thought it would still be his heart, but he did not respond. That was difficult. I cried my eyes out for her. Gobadia argues that he interpreted Williams' text as not genuine and manipulative. Williams, determined to shield her daughter from the trauma she's endured, Williams turned to Pilar's father for help. I told him, I really need you. I really need to be close to you right now. He stepped up in every way, she says. We bonded around Pilar to show her what she still had. She's really doing well. I'm so blessed to have her father support me through this transition. Bravo, I'm so blessed to have her father support through this transition, put her first, rather. Bravo fans got a glimpse of McKinley's dynamic with Pilar season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, which wraps up before reunion premiere next month. Much of Williams' struggles around her split was kept behind closed doors. I just filed before we started filming. She says you got to put on a different face, a different energy, just do your job. So I compartmentalized it and said, okay, this is work. I'm going to clock in and get it done. Williams said Gobadia also made it difficult for her to be transparent. He sent a cease and desist to the show, filed a defamation lawsuit against her, and prevented her from filming in their home. I gave updates when it came to the real dark side of it. I shielded away from, she says, the things that were happening on the show, and they really are connected to who I am. I'm not saying it's not real, but that's like a small part of my reality. I watched the show, and I'm like, I filmed that, I said that, I did that. Viewers didn't see was that I never left my room. She says, I was so depressed I couldn't move. I spent a long time crying out. Williams leaned on her mother, Diane, and sister-in-law for support, focused on herself. When I was married to Simon, I loved taking care of him. I got him breathing right. I got him looking where I could for him, she says. I don't regret that's who I am. I thrive being a wife and a mom and taking care of my family. When that ended, I had to do something with that love. I decided I was going to let go of the weights, and I started giving it to me. There she was there. She dove into work, taking on various projects like partnering with Almany as a spokesperson and continuing to invest her time in Go Naked Hair, which she launched after her first divorce. I had no idea when I started. I lost self-confidence. She says wigs helped me feel like myself again. She also concentrated on her line sheets painted by Porsha, which was inspired by her mother. The sheets reminded me of my childhood, soft and comforting. Her newest passion is her YouTube channel, Porsha For Real. There's no drama, just me, Dennis, my mom, my sister, PJ being ourselves. She says people watching, they say, there she is. That's the Porsha we missed from Housewives. And I tell them, yeah, I was depressed. As what's next in the love department, Williams admits she's not ready. It's lonely. I can't connect with other men. She said through tears. She did say that. You think I'm already out there dating, right? People try to introduce me, but it's not. But when it's not the same, it's not the same. When you go through a bad breakup, you're like, I don't like nobody. She jokes. Her tears turned to laughter. I was just sitting there like, do I like women enough? Can I get with a woman? I would just say this. The Brett and Judy look better than you and any woman that you will ever get with. What? Y'all don't? Okay, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. See. Oh my God. Not sorry. Like, sincerely. Like, let me just show y'all this, okay? Give me a moment. Because, like, right here, ladies and gentlemen, right here, like, this is them, okay? Now, if you have not seen Brad Loves Judy, it is the show, okay? These two are just everything, right? Like, I'm sorry, like, sincerely, really? Like, their dynamic is so real. And WeTV, I need another season of this show, okay? Because I'm ready to see these two again. For sure, but sincerely, Porsha, stop it. Just stop it. Just stay to yourself, over yourself, and by yourself like you've been doing, okay? Good damn. Who can come in and fill this void? Now, here's the thing. If you are utilizing people to fill a void, then maybe that goes to show that you don't have the faculties to handle your own emotions. Oh, did I piss off the Porsha fans a little bit? Not sorry. Like, it's not anyone's job to fill a void in your life or to make you happy or to complete you. They can compliment you, right? but not complete you. I gotta be able to sit down with someone and feel a part of what I felt for him. Well, if you take old luggage or old baggage into a new relationship, then guess where you find yourself in this state again. But hey, what do I know though? I'm just a black man talking on YouTube. She remains hopeful that she'll find love again and says she will absolutely marry again. I'm so glad I can say that there could be so much hate in my heart from how my ex handled the divorce, but no, guys, preserve my heart. I thank you for that. So now she's just grateful to have walked through fire with grace. I'm really proud of myself. I feel Porsha coming back, and I'm finally able to exhale. So there you go. There's the team there. Photographer Eric Humphrey, cinematographers Harriet Sellers, and Foursquare Black Ringo Productions here. Montevious Giles, Tormunda for makeup stylist Jeremy Hayes, Taylor Carl Eulis, set design Sinclair Readings, and Spin Style Agency. So very well done there. Now apparently there is some backlash from Roa fans, and we're gonna listen to Anonymous T for this here. So let's go to her now.
Follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram is at Anonymous Reality T. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes. And coming or going, hit the like button. So today we are talking Real Housewives of Atlanta because there is some drama involving Shamia. It's just not a good look. And I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face, you guys. I don't think that she was ever over Porsha and the issues that they've had in the past, that they so-called worked it out. I think she was holding on until she got a peach holder and was going to unleash, was going to try to take Porsha down by any means necessary, because there's no friend or alleged best friend that does any type of foolishness like this. And there's been multiple housewives, whether you believe Britt or not, there's been multiple housewives that, have said that Shamia has talked about Porsha behind Porsha's back whenever she's mad at Porsha. That's not a good look. Kenya said it. Angela Oakley said it. Drew Sidora said it. I'm sure it's happened with Candy, even though Candy's not going to publicly admit that because she knows better. But nonetheless, there's been, and I think there's rumors with Sheree as well. Like there's been plenty of times where Shamia has done this, and I keep trying to tell y'all there's a reason that her and Porsha have remained friends all these years for all this time, because there's not that much of a difference between the two of them. It's just—
now I will say this. Could they be best friends because they know where each other's skeletons are buried? So at first it was a real friendship, but then it kind of became of it's better to hold you around me than to have you away from me. Just asking. But let's go back to Anonymous T.
Just that one hides their messiness and shadiness better than the other. And that's all there is to it. So I haven't seen the episode. I haven't seen a few episodes because I've kind of been checked out of Real Housewives and the janky season that they tried to give us and try to serve us up on a platter with. And it's just been nothing but just foolishness. So I was busy last night with the NBA Finals in Love Island. So I am seeing all of this, on my timeline about this drama, I guess, with the fallout of Britt and Kelli's friendship. So Shamia has this post that she decided to do on social media, and she's getting dragged up and down in every which way about it. And so it says the following. It says, I was happy to be there to support my friend, who is Kelli, on one of the toughest days of her life, with praying emojis. I'm so happy that her divorce is final. Now let's get down to business. I've never, in all caps, used Kelli Stylist. I've never, in all caps, showed lying ASS Britt any texts. Porsha and I not going out to celebrate me having a peach was discussed at our Pampered by Porsha event. I mean, this is so childish. Why do we need to go out? You know what? I cannot. Britt is grasping for straws at this point. I never bring up what someone does or doesn't do with their body. Screaming someone has had an unalive procedure was out of line and way below the belt. But then somebody called out Shamia in the comments that she previously called out Marlo's alleged lipo procedure or whatever else. And Shamia didn't think that was a big deal. So Shamia, I guess, is trying to facilitate hate towards Porsha because Porsha didn't tell Shamia allegedly that her cousin Londie had passed away, and Phaedra had knew, and Phaedra had told Shamia, and Shamia apparently had some crocodile tears about it. Here's the thing. In this particular season alone, in this season 16 alone, right? Forget everything else that's happened, right? If Porsha is already hearing from Angela Oakley that Shamia is talking about Porsha behind her back, and then Porsha tries to resolve these issues with Shamia and everything else, and thinking that they're on a good look, that everything's all good with them, and then she finds out later on from Britt that Shamia is still allegedly talking mess about Porsha's back, or allegedly showing text messages, and you can't tell me that Shamia has not gossiped about Porsha with Kelli, or potentially has showed text messages between her and Porsha with Kelli. None of the less, if I'm...
Now, I'm going to pause it here for a minute, because if you all remember, there was a conversation that Shamia and Angela Oakley had, right, this season about how, she feels about Porsha. So this energy has been had before. So I don't think Britt is out of line for saying what she said, that she saw text messages from Shamia, right? Because Porsha said in this last episode that we saw that the text messages were actually about what Porsha talked about with her therapist, not her attorney. So if Porsha didn't remember it, she would not have said anything about it. So I do believe something ain't sweet in the Kool-Aid with Shamia's energy. But hey, let's get back to Steve. Sorry, y'all. This chat. Yeah. That what we're doing? Okay, y'all give me 1 second. I'll reset the laptop real quick. I'll be right back. And my voice sounds clear. That's awesome. So let me bring back up our live stream here, because I think we were on Anonymous T. But yeah, up to this point, y'all, I feel like Shamia is flip-floppy over the fact of she is doing anything and everything to just enough, right? She is existing just enough to be able to survive this show, right? That's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but she seems like a floater for Big Brother. Now, floater usually stays, to the wall on Big Brother. They don't really play the game, and the Big Brother universe is not like floaters. They're like people who can be able to get into the game. So let me get back up for you all here. We were at what, 412, I think. Yeah.
Me having Peach was discussed.
Yep, we heard that.
Called out Marlo's alleged lipo procedure or whatever to resolve these issues with Shamia and everything else, and thinking that they're on a good look, that everything's all good with them. And then she finds out later on from Britt that Shamia is still allegedly talking mess about Porsha's back, or allegedly showing text messages. And you can't tell me that Shamia has not gossiped about Porsha with Kelli, or potentially has showed text messages between her and Porsha with Kelli. So nonetheless, if I'm Porsha, why would I be telling my alleged best friend anything if this is how you're moving?
Yep.
If this is how you're moving this season alone, this is your first time being a peach holder, and I keep hearing from multiple housewives that you're talking greasy behind my back, but anytime you confront Shamia about it, she wants to make it seem like, Portia's just listening to the new girls and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But it seems pretty interesting. Angela Oakley already laid out the playbook. She laid out the playbook that, because obviously Shamia and Candy have been forthcoming that they've done a lot of coaching for her for their show, that if no cameras are rolling, anything that you say or do when the cameras are not rolling, can't be used against you. So nonetheless, since the cameras were not rolling on all of these alleged times Shamia has been messy, she's thinking, I could just change the court of public opinion, since people don't like Porsha anyway, since Porsha receives a lot of hate anyways, I can just pretend and make it seem like everybody else is lying because you don't have any camera footage of me actually being messy.
And that part right there is fucked up. As much as Porsha Williams deserves the hate she gets, okay? Sometimes people hate just to hate, right? You can't do anything about it. Even if you cure the world cancer, you're still gonna get hate. But in that same token, though, right? I remember when Shamia said, I wish that we could see the Porsha that is off screen, on screen. And didn't Shamia say that Porsha said that I'm gonna have to get paid more for that? So it seems like even though you have been trying to make Porsha out to be this, that, and the third, this is not one for Porsha. I'm about right is right and wrong is wrong. So Porsha fans, calm the fuck down. It does seem like you are trying to cover your ass. Just saying.
You don't have any camera footage of me allegedly showing any type of text messages. You don't have any receipts, right? Of anything that was filmed for the show that can show how disloyal I have been as it pertains to Porsha. However, Drew Sidora has said on Carlos King that Shamia has been messy and has, had these, they've had, out for drinks, and she's complained about Porsha. Angela Oakley has said both on the show and after the show how Shamia is moving, that Shamia, and I feel like Angela Oakley clocked it. Shamia was waiting until she got her peach to air out all of her grievances with Porsha. Like. And she never let go of any of the shady things that Porsha did on the past. But my problem is, Bravo promoted y'all as best friends on the show. They did this whole rollout of y'all being besties for the show, and we've not seen any besties interaction this entire season. Not even in the earlier episodes, right? Not even when Porsha showed up late to your birthday party, right? Well, like just nothing. No bestie anything, right? Everything mostly has been group events, except for the Dollar Tree putt thing y'all went to. And I think it was the first episode where y'all went out for drinks while Porsha was going through her divorce or whatever else. But outside of that, no. And And for me, it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And it's odd to me that, because it seems like what Britt allegedly has done is Britt was basically like, listen, looky here, if Kelli is going to drop, me for Shamia, then I can drop, Kelli for Porsha and cause a little bit of a rift and everything else. But my thing is, if this was a real friendship, I would never let any newcomers try to sabotage that. I think the real is that Porsha and Shamia have not been good for quite some time. And maybe it was just going to be, they were going to keep it cute, they were going to keep it respectful and all these things. But I think what happened over the course of filming, Porsha found out, while she was going through a divorce, whatever else, that Shamia was just being real shady behind her back. And Porsha's already dealing with what she was dealing with. And so nonetheless, and that's why she said on the one episode, she said, I'm not trying to lose. I'm not trying to divorce my good friend Shamia as well. But if Porsha keeps hearing people talking about, hearing from other housewives that Shamia's talking crazy about her, why would Porsha engage with Shamia?
And I fully agree with that. Like I said, we do have more show for you all for sure. By the way, shout out to Anonymous T, like, comment, share, subscribe to Anonymous T. Now, speaking of Shamia and Porsha, apparently the reunion was very controlled. Let's get into that. Also from Anonymous T. Child, a lot going on in the world of Roa.
4th of July sale. Don't miss savings on cooler sleep, ache relief.
Oh, one day I will be a spokesperson.
And all night, every night comfort.
T, free to share everywhere, free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we are talking Real Housewives of Atlanta because the reunion's going to be coming up here in a few weeks, and Cynthia Bailey spilled a little bit of tea that we are going to get into. So let's take a listen, and then we are going to react to her comment show. So let's take a listen.
Fact that Porsha had such a tough season, and maybe this is just the OG thing at this point because she's kind of considered OG.
She's very OG.
She came, and in my opinion, she controlled that reunion from the time she sat down until she left. She totally did what needed to be done, said what needed to be said.
Oh, wow.
And I don't think she's going to have any issues next season.
Wow.
Back, for sure.
She was ready.
Yeah. And trust me, it's like when you have a tough season, especially even where the fans are like dragging you and stuff, to come in and
she's an OG.
Fix it. Like, wow. It was definitely a fix it Jesus moment in the words of Phaedra Parks. Wow. She fixed it Jesus, in my opinion.
She fixed it.
Yeah,
I really love all of these lines. They're so good.
Porsha had an excellent reunion.
Okay.
And coming in like in that situation and being in the hot seat, like I was really curious how was it all going to go out. But, she had a whole tough season for a lot of reasons, like going through that divorce and this. And remember her husband.
Yeah.
He was detained by ICE, but now he's out. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, he just got out like a week ago. Well, he got deported. They deported him back to Nigeria.
Yes, I read something.
But apparently he's in Dubai now, too, so.
So that was Cynthia Bailey, and that is the podcast that she has with Crystal from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, humble brag. So basically she's saying that, Porsha gave what needed to be given at this reunion, and I'm not surprised. Listen, love or hate Porsha, like or dislike Porsha or whatever else, one thing Porsha will do is she will give you something to remember at this reunion, whether it's a positive or a negative. She is pretty witty and things like that when it comes to some of her reads and everything else. But, really dragging Shamia, I don't think Shamia's going to have a good reunion. I'm not seeing it. I'm a little iffy on the Porsha versus Drew, who's going to come out on top on that. Unless there's some receipts that we're not aware of, I'm still lost on that whole story.
And I will say this. I do think for the reunion, right? I think Porsha and Drew is very insular here, right? Like, it's a part of the show, but it's not everything. I do believe that Shamia and Porsha, that's going to be a huge part of this reunion. Mark my words.
Storyline and everything else, because it was very confusing from jump as far as what we know about, what we don't know about in X, Y, and Z. The only thing as far as Porsha's perspective that I did understand was the piece about Drew trying to schedule additional photo shoots of Go Naked hair outside of Porsha. That piece I understand. The Dennis component, not so much, but maybe we'll get more intel at the reunion.
I got to push back just a little bit with the, the photo shoots for outside Go Naked hair. Unless there's a contract saying that you can only do the shoots when, we ask for them. Okay, that's understandable, right? But if she's doing photo shoots outside Go Naked hair and she's still promoting Go Naked hair, then why is that a problem? I could be wrong on that, but that's what I was thinking. So, could be wrong. Okay, here we go.
I think Porsha is going to air Shamea out, and I think she aired Shamea out so bad that Shamea had to do a birthday post for Porsha and has liked Porsha's most recent post because Porsha did a whole spread with People magazine recreating Angela Bassett from Waiting to Exhale and has a whole People digital exclusive discussing her divorce. All while, now this must have been done shortly after everything was finalized, and it must be, maybe in between her filming for The Traitors or whatever else, if they have a day off or something like that, because I believe they're still filming Traitors, because I believe that takes like a few weeks to film. I believe it takes like 3 weeks or something like that to film in Scotland. So nonetheless, I'm like 99.9% sure that Porsha is still very much overseas doing The Traitors. But I think this, attempted takedown of Porsha, it has gone completely wrong. I think people were banking on the fans that didn't like Porsha or the fans that were disgusted from Porsha's reality show spinoff, people that were disgusted with her and Simon got together, people who just didn't like her altogether. They were banking, Shamea and Kelli were banking on that amount of hate and negativity to capitalize the messiness that they were doing. And they were sadly mistaken, and they got...
I didn't see that. But then again, I don't watch this on a regular basis. I really don't. The only time I ever watch Housewives is for all of you. That's it. Sincerely. Like, I'm more in tune with the Never Ever Mets, 90 Day Fiance, Hunt for Love, Temptation Island, shows that have a grounded foundation. You know what I mean? Like I said, I find the soul within Housewives to, watch it for you guys. But besides that, I give two fucks. But I do give two fucks for you guys. You know what I mean? Because at the beginning, middle, end of the day, this was is a very culturally relevant show. It's one of those shows where you may not watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, but you expect it to be on TV. And I remember when we did the King and More Confessions saga, where it was 4 live streams, right? It was the announcement for it. There was that 1 minute 50-second clip that everybody was pissed off about. Then it was the actual confessions, right? So yeah, we did that. And that got us over to 3,000 subscribers. And thank you to everybody that came through. It was like 330 people over here live. I was reading every single comment. We had like a huge panel, and it was huge. So if you missed it, just type in Kenyon Moore in the search bar of this channel, and you'll be able to see all 4 live streams. And like I said, that moment after what happened at the hair spa, and I saw the Kenyon Moore Confessions that made the announcement, and for all that, I knew that was a big story. So it only made sense to follow it. Like I said, anytime that we are following something that can, add context, conjecture, and connection to the show, we do it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, Bray, you didn't do the Drew Sidor and Carlos King interview. Well, here's the thing, right? You really want to be honest? I could have really gave 2 fucks about that interview. And not for Drew Sidora, but, Carlos King, I mean, he's able to talk to everybody else, but yet he got his own shows that he can't handle. So it's like, no. I'm sure that there's some context, conjecture, and connection there. But like I said, social media from this season that I've watched, right? Social media seems to be more the show than the actual show. Just saying. So let's keep rolling here.
Had a rude awakening. Angela Oakley and her husband were on Watch What Happens Live last night, Charles Oakley, and I just saw only like a couple of clips that have been on YouTube, and that was one where, you know, they're asking about Angela Oakley and Charles Oakley's marriage and everything else, and, you know, Charles is like, listen, looky here, like this marriage is whatever Angela wants it to be. As long as she's happy, I'm good. I don't care what these people think. But I noticed, Angela, you know, with Andy Cohen, he likes who he likes, but I think he got impressed because he decided to have Charles Oakley's book added to Andy Cohen's mantle of books to have on display in the background for the Watch What Happens Live guests. And I feel that is a major positive sign for Angela Oakley that she is definitely going to be back next season. Because some other things that Cynthia had discussed in her podcast was the whole Britt Edie situation, like who knew whether or not she was going to be there or not. And then also they discussed, I think, you know, the seating arrangement. Cynthia said that she was there for the entire reunion as a friend of, which is like unprecedented because usually they just bring you out for like a certain component. She also said that.
But also too, Cynthia Bailey has been around a long time, so I think that seniority, you know, outweighs the friend of position. Like Monique Samuels, she definitely will be a friend of us. She will be there for maybe 2 segments, and that's being gracious, and then we'll leave. But Cynthia Bailey is more of a legend in the Bravo world than Monique Samuels' existence. But that's neither here nor there. Let's roll on.
Phaedra has a pickup letter, but I think that's not a surprise that Phaedra will be back for season 17 because if she only filmed for less than 2 weeks of season,
not at all. And she confirmed in an interview, I think it was either with Entertainment Tonight or Extra, but I believe it was Extra, that she is confirmed for season 17. Let me make sure. Yep, right here. From the Jasmine brand. Here we go. What the hell? Y'all seeing the same thing I'm seeing, right? Hang on 1 second. Wow. Okay, then hang on. Give me a moment. Go to videos.
We waste 7 years of our lives trying to get to sleep. Stop wasting your time.
We are nearing the end of Sweet 16.
Mutual. I mean, we didn't obviously hang out. My source was. And so sometimes you know, and you just get the opportunity to reinvent yourself. Because if you are truly a success story, you can lose it all and get it right back.
Once and for all, who is Frick and who is Frack?
Frick is Porsha and I'm Frack.
Okay, how is...
Okay, here it is here.
Hello. Thank you for having me back.
Okay, so you made your grand return to Real Housewives. You really never left the Bravo first. So
I never did.
So that probably made it a little bit easier to say yes?
No, definitely. I love my NBC Universal family. Have
been
with them forever, and it's home for me.
Is this more of a redemption tour or like a renewal?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think obviously, you know, I've been redeemed by the blood of the
together. Yes. How has it been a long time?
Yeah, I started the article. You never forget how to write.
How are things with Britt?
It was, you know.
You to also get a mind
Yes. I've ever been on the show and there's someone smaller than me because I'm a little petite princess, but she is a recording with her, but she's good TV.
Britt, let's talk about Britt. She's
Utterly shocked when I found out she gorgeous bouquet of flowers before the reunion. You know, that's about the, you know, yes, we're still in a good place on it because I have happy to be there.
Are there any other surprises we'll see at the reunion?
Oh, absolutely perfect clothes, but just will be turning.
Like that. We just saw you guys coming back from Granada. You had such a great time.
Yes.
Can you? What was your favorite part of that?
You know, we had yes.
And that must just be the best part.
You know, there's always an amazing girls trip, so you really immerse yourself. And so, when I'm dating a younger guy, and he's because it's just like wanting to be married.
It's good to have fun.
Yes, upcoming episode this week.
Oh wow.
Well, he'll be on 2 episodes.
Like a wife, not a girlfriend.
Be adored. Thing that you adore. You.
Okay, and lastly is the big question: will we see you next season?
You will definitely see me next season. You know, I was only on 10 days working this season, so I'm coming back ready to have some Housewives fun.
So there she is. There she will be back for season 17. So we're just waiting for the renewal at that point. So there you go. Shout out to Extra there. And sorry I had to cut through all that, but you know.
16, like I'm sure her contract, the bulk of, you know, what her contract is going to entail, they're banking on Phaedra to have a big season 17. They're banking on that. So I think probably we're probably going to see Apollo. I mean, I'm almost like we would have to, right? So I'm thinking that might be the case as well. Also, she said she wasn't sure if anybody else got any pickup letters or if she's heard anything yet, but she did state as well. I'm trying to think what else. She said that Angela Oakley was unsure whether or not she was going to come back. And she said that Cynthia convinced her. But I think the appearance of Watch What Happens Live last night was good PR for Angela to come back because a lot of fans like her. And so I think that's going to be good. Now, as for, there was something else I wanted to quickly mention. What did I want to mention? What did I want to say as it pertains to Porsha and Shamia and Kelli and this whole thing? Oh, yeah. I think they were banking on the hate that Britt Edie received in regards to what happened with the whole Kenya Moore debacle with the Kenya Moore hair salon. I think they were banking on that people were not going to defend Britt for anything that takes place in any conflict this season. But I think Kelli and Shamia really overplayed their hand. And they are doing so much backtracking. I already did the one video about Shamia's post and everything else, where she's trying to deny stuff. But the thing is, all these housewives can't be lying. You're going to call Angela Oakley a liar? You're going to call... Now, Drew does be telling some stories, but if she and Angela Oakley were at the same location, and they're both saying the same thing, that you were there to gossip about Porsha, you know, like read the room, and you're telling them to pinky swear and everything else, like read the room. So even if you don't like Britt, why would she lie something so specific about this, about showing any alleged text messages? That's intending to be messy. That's intent, you know, to be messy. And say what you want about Porsha, but like I keep saying, as for season 16, we have not heard a peep from any of these housewives that Porsha was being messy about Shamia behind Shamia's back, that she was...
That's factual. That's very factual. For sure. And like I said, most of the cast will be at BravoCon. By the way, like I said, shout out to Anonymous T there. All right, y'all. Of course, as you all may or may not know by now, from MediaTakeout.com, Kelli and Britt's friendship officially ends over Glam Squad drama. Real Housewives of Atlanta's besties, Kelli Farrell and Britt Edie, once again, clash once again in last night's episode. This time at Phaedra Park's glamorous Black Glove Shop event. Britt pulled up to Kelli's event Despite their ongoing feud over sharing a glam team, Britt previously claimed that Kelli got jealous that Britt was getting better looks from the team. Then Kelli tried to shut it down. Cynthia Bailey then told Kelli that Britt had by her over Porsha went to home, leaving Kelli shocked. Kelli and Britt began to hurl insults at each other, with Kelli referring to Britt's husband as a roommate. But Britt called Kelli insecure. Kelli fired back by calling her former best friend's husband a pill popper. Kelli, your man has went to jail and tried to take you for the lot that you had in the old location. I'm sure he has a criminal history too, so that's a very dicey situation. I remember during Potomac where Mia and what's that woman's name? Hang on, yeah, I gotta go. RHOP cast season 9. Thank you so much, child. And Jacqueline. I remember Jacqueline and Mia. They did too damn much, and Jacqueline's intel got leaked out. So that's wrong road. Okay. So yes, indeed, there. Eventually, Britt even hit below the belt further by blowing out, unless you want to talk about the AB she had since she was married. Kelli has been teasing her epic fall with Britt for several weeks, but last episode may have been the reason why Britt decided not to show up for the reunion. So let's see something good here, everybody. So here it is here from Phaedra Parks. When your sons are the CEO and COO of the Drip. Mr. President launched his pants collection line. His his manager and financial advisor. We don't wear success, we work for it. Tune into RHO, #RHOA, now on at Bravo TV at 8 p.m. Eastern. Stream on Bravo, stream on Peacock on Monday. #Proud Mom, #Boy Mom, or now link is in his bio. So here we go.
Did you realize that you are a champion? Yes, I did.
Look at this, bro. Oh, yeah. Now that affects me. I didn't do that on social media. Porn machine, warehouse. Set it up in the face there. The Monopoly Farm Scotty in the Star Archive of the fabric. I love this, man. This is awesome. Oh, wow. That's amazing. How it's going.
This is Mr. Dillon. Started his own tent line.
Look at that, y'all.
Designed them. He has a sewing machine. He's been coming up to the showroom learning how to sew. This is his manager, his brother. These are his pants as well.
Hi, everybody. How are we feeling?
That was cute. How we feeling, bro?
We're doing pre-orders right now on
thesearchive.com.
Get your pre-order now.
My boys, they are my legacy. My goal in life is to give them a leg up. And I tell them all the time, you will be your brother's keeper. And no matter what happens in life, you have him. Because I won't be here forever.
I'm so proud of you.
That was so beautiful. And the way Phaedra cried over her sons, so beautiful, y'all. Really beautiful moment. In that. And finally, here from Deadline.com, Bravo's Real Housewives of Atlanta pays homage to Porsha Williams' late cousin, Lottie Favors. It's just a huge loss. The latest episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta addresses Lottie Favors' death and pays homage to Porsha Williams' late cousin. In August of 2024, Williams confirmed that her cousin Yolanda Lottie Favors had died at the age of 34. That is just way too young. The Bravo reality series was filmed in season 16, and Williams skipped out on attending event for fellow co-star Phaedra Parks, where she organized as she mourned her cousin's death. On RHOA's latest episode, which aired on Sunday, June 22nd, Williams called Parks to tell her why she can't be there. It was just so sudden, so difficult. Williams says during a confessional, Lottie was just the most giving person you could ever think of. She was a loyal person, the most creative with her company. She did so much for my grandfather's foundation, the most honest person you can ever think of. It's just a huge loss. Favors was featured on the latest season of Raw as she helped Williams organize the event for her Pampered by Porsha betting line. Williams' cousin was also heavily featured in the spinoff Porsha's Family Master Trend for one season on Bravo. I'm devastated because I know Lonnie was the backbone of their family, very young, which is brilliant. Sweetheart Parks says in a confessional, I know Porsha's devastated. During the call with Williams, Parks told her not to worry about her attending her event. We'll be praying for you because I know she was like another sister to you. At the end of her event, Parks delivers the news to the royal cast, which surprises them all. I'm in shock, Cynthia Bailey says in a confessional online. It was so sweet and so loving. This is devastating news. Although there's conflict among the ladies, the loss brings them together, and Parks reflects and says we need to support her during this time. This group is a big group of fallout. By the end of the day, we are sisters. We got to stick together and really support one another because you never know when it's the last time. The episode wraps up with a title card in loving memory, Yolanda Lottie Favors, 1989 to 2024. So prayers up to Porsha Williams and her family here. Beautiful person. Makes you rest in peace. Just too young. Porsha, so the fact she had serious issues with her cousin came out when they had serious when Porsha met her father's daughter. So I don't believe. I don't believe anything Porsha has to say. Read the room before. This isn't the time or place for you to be airing your naked fantasy about someone who isn't even the topic of the article. Shows some classrooms in your life. My condolences. She was such a pleasure to watch that day. Seemed like an anointed angel. Hang in there, sister. Suit shall pass. Love you, feel your pain. So sorry for your loss. You and your family have my condolences and deep sympathy. Now, listen. I will say this. I'm sure there are plenty of issues with families in life, but one thing, two things for sure. I do believe that Porsha really loved Lottie Favors, right? And this is the thing, right? Before anybody comes for me and says, well, Braylon, you said what you said about Love and Mary Charlottesville. At the beginning, middle, end of the day, that was a whole different situation with somebody that really was trying to overcome their challenges, and their cousin was a fucking obstacle that gave no fucks, dams, or shit about their cousin. And so Tisha deserved to be fucking dragged all the way to the highest point of the sun and dropped down through Hades' asshole. That was a completely different situation, okay? So, when you really love somebody, you don't just talk about it, you be about it. I do believe Porsha Williams is more about her family than Letitia Scott. Fuck all y'all. Who's gonna have something to say? If you don't like it, guess what? Tomorrow's a new day. Move on. And by the way, Roa has been on for about to be 17 seasons. And where's the 10th season of Love and Mary Charlottesville? Nowhere to be fucking found, you pieces of shit. I'm not talking to my audience or the Bush campers or the replay gang, people who are over here on a regular basis. I'm talking to everybody else that want to have this big energy for a show that brought more toxicity, where culturally, in terms of cultural relevance, Roa is a way bigger show than Love and Mary Charlottesville. Carlos King talks about Bravo more than his own shows. Fuck off. Once again. I said what I'm saying ain't true, don't respond to me. But if what I'm saying is not true, then don't respond to me. But if you do respond to me, it must be true to some degree. Once again, let me hear the multi-round. Do they give a flying fuck? No, they don't give a fuck either. I'm gonna turn on my camera now because we done the whole show for over an hour. Yes, we have. Yolanda Lottie Favors, rest in peace to you, sister. Y'all, that's the show. If I can give a daily moment, because I already did for 6 o'clock show. I'm gonna talk about favor. Favor to me is how you are able to get access to people, spaces, and opportunities that other people may not have. That's the definition. So Yolanda, the reason why she is so beloved, because she showed favor that wasn't always seen. That's the first thing. Second thing about the reason why Yolanda is so loved is because regardless of whatever she was going through, she still put up a good fight. And honestly, with whatever has happened, right, I believe that the way that you live life determines how you are received in the afterlife. If you haven't seen Coco from Disney, watch that. And I believe as long as Porsha and everybody remembers Yolanda, she will be living in that land that world of Coco is made of. So with that being said, one love, much love, all love. I feel love, and I send it right back to Yolanda Londie Favors. Gorgeous. We feel the love, and we send it right to you as the fireworks, ladies and gentlemen, are going off for Yolanda Londie Favors there. Yes, indeed. One love, much love, all love. Bye, everybody. Good night.
I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.